So competition is something that has been very, very common over many, many years amongst businesses. Some of the most famous competitors worldwide include, of course, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, UPS and FedEx, and Apple and Samsung. So these are some of the many types of competition that exist, and companies spend millions of dollars to try and outsmart the other, to try and outsmart the competition. And sometimes even there's many, many write-ups of how competition is even healthy for many companies. It's very beneficial, it's very positive within the company and worldwide as well. The real question that we have to ask ourselves is how halachically correct is it for a person to open up a competing business? For example, and this, by the way, could be negay anywhere. It could be in a town, in a city, even in a yeshiva. When a person opens up a store, that, there's another store that's similar. Or if I'm selling a product that somebody else is also selling, am I allowed to do that? Opening up another restaurant. All these sorts of shilas come under the umbrella of competition in halacha, and how is it mutter, when is it mutter, and why. So we're going to try, in the few minutes that we have, it's a very complicated subject, and I'll be honest, disclaimer, as we've said many times, many of these shilas have to be asked to Rabbonim, and even sometimes, like the Shulchan Aruch says, and the Gemara says, it needs to be posed to the local Beis Din, because sometimes there are so many different factors of what could be included, what is mutter, what is osa, midas chasidus, a lot of different shilas. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to attempt in the next few minutes, is just to give you an idea of competition, of how it applies, when it applies, and when it could be negeya. So the makor over here that we have to learn as the first place that I know of that discusses such a shaila is a Gemara in Baba Basra Daf Chof Aleph Amud Aleph. The Gemara in Baba Basra Daf Chof Aleph Amud Aleph talks about specifically different types of businesses, and he mentions over there about the local residents of a specific town, and it's very, very important that we're specifically talking about people that live in that town. Someone that comes from the outside has a whole different set of laws, but people that live within this city, within this town, and they want to open up a similar business to others that also have a pre-existing business, a competition, a competing store, restaurant, or any other service that they are offering in that case. The Gemara tells us that halacha lemaisa, it's absolutely mutter, even if they're next door one another. It doesn't have to be down the road or in a different area, different neighborhood, even if they're next to each other, and even if it's clear that by me opening up my competition, the other guy, the pre-existing store, is going to lose money. That is absolutely fine as long as I also live here. This is the Gemara Baba Basra Daf Chof Aleph. The Shulchan Aruch in Choshe Mishpat Siman Kuf Nun Vav Siv Hey paskins halacha lemaisa like this Gemara. That would mean that if two people are living in the same place and they want to open up a competing business, whether it be online, whether it be in a storefront, whatever it may be, that would be mutter, even if we know it's going to affect the other one's business, as long as they both live there over here. Now the Shulchan Aruch writes a very fascinating idea. Shulchan Aruch in Siman Reish Chof Ches, in Choshe Mishpat Sif Yud Ches, brings down that the new business that comes along, right, the new store that opens, is allowed to lower his prices, right, he's allowed to do that in order to get customers from the other pre-existing store. There's no problem with the new one lowering his prices in order to do that. So there is a tshuva in the Chassam Sofer in Choshe Mishpat Siman Ayin Tes, where he brings down that once the customers already enter the store, that's also for you to try and say, hey, come to me, I'm cheaper. That you can't do. Once they're in the store already, leave them there. But in order to go and try and tempt them to come to your business or to use your services, you, as the new company, as the new competitor, is allowed to lower your prices in order to get them to do that. Now, while all of this is mutter me'ikar hadin, meaning according to the strict letter of the law, Gemara, Shulchan Aruch, all of what we said right now is mutter. You're allowed to do it. However, there's a Heilige Balatanya in Shulchan Aruch Harav in Graz, brings a Shitas HaRambam. There's a Tshuva in the Marami Rottenberg as well, that say that even though it's me'ikar hadin mutter, better not to. Midas chasidus, the Chassam Sofer calls it, for a person not to do that, especially if it's going to damage someone else's parnasa, even though me'ikar hadin it's mutter. Me'ikar hadin it's 100% okay. Midas chasidus, a person shouldn't do that. However, Zuk the Chuvas Chalkas Yaakov in Chele Beis Simon Samachay. Pischei Choshen brings it as well in Geneva, page 262. That if there's enough business for both companies, for both stores, restaurants, services, whatever it is, then there's no Midas Chasidus anymore. If I know that in this town there's enough business, if I open up my business and there's another existing one and there's enough business for both, then there's no even Midas Chasidus for a person not to do it over there. The only exception of when we said Me'ikad in its mutter, but we would say it's not good, is only if the existing business is going to go bankrupt. In other words, if I'm going to open up my business, my store, my restaurant, my services, and through that, the new company, the pre-existing company is going to go under, he's going to go bankrupt, then it's the exception. And in that case, there's a Chuvas in Ramah, Chuvas Samsoifa Chosh Mishpat Samach Aleph, there's a Moedige Chuv in Igvis Moshe Chosh Mishpat Chelet Beis Samach Lamed Aleph, that also says, if the other business is going to go down, then absolutely not. Then you cannot do it in that case. So Samsoifa asks, where Moshe also asks, what if he has another business? In other words, okay, let's make a simple case. I want to open up a restaurant. There's another restaurant exactly selling the same stuff, right? So now the question is, I'm going to open up mine. There's no question. He's going to go down. He's going bankrupt. Seder, but he has another 18 different businesses that he makes all his parnasa from. Big deal. So one of his restaurants go down. What's the din in that case? So Moshe says, Abadav, it's still asa. Even if he's got other businesses in which to basically, support himself, that's irrelevant. If my competition is going to ruin somebody else's that becomes bankrupt and they go under, then it's going to be us. In fact, with Moshe, by the way, Moedik Tshuva, when Moshe talks about a case, and that Tshuva in Choshe Mishpat, that will be asa. Then it will be asa. Moshe discusses a case of a shul that some of the members of the shul don't like whatever it is that they have in that shul. They break away and make their own minyan, and by making their own minyan, the Rov's status goes down. The property of value of that shul goes down because everybody goes to the other shul. And Rav Moshe writes terrible things about this. And he writes, even if you're doing it because it's not the right nusach that I daven, even if you're doing it because you don't like the people that are davening over there, you don't like what's going on in the shul, you don't even like the Rav, it doesn't make a difference. If by the olam leaving, making their own minyan, you're ruining somebody else's, that's the same shaila, by the way, of competition, even when it comes to shuls. But if the second competition, the new business, the new store, is offering better prices, better service, a bigger selection of items, or anything more similar to that, then it's absolutely mutter to do that, even if it's going to go and put the other customer out of business. Because why? We're looking at the consumer. We're looking at the people who are buying, and if for them it's better, then it's going to be mutter. 1 second, we'll say an exception in a minute, probably which is bothering you. However, it very much depends on the different circumstances, of course. That means if we know that the second business is going to for sure benefit the public without any shaila, not only can we not object to them opening, some posts can even recommend that they open because they are benefiting ultimately the consumers, the people buying it in that case. But again, many cases need to be consulted with the based in, but the following cases are for sure asa. And that is number one. If you're doing it in revenge, if you want to get somebody else and you're opening up a competition to do revenge to somebody else, everybody holds that's going to be asa. Number two, if your kavanah is to open up a business, lower my prices, get everybody to come to me, cause the other business to go out of business, go bankrupt, and then I'll put up my prices, that's going to be asa. Simply because, again, the consumer is going to be losing out and it's not good for the public in that case. The Aruch HaShulchan says clearly that even when it's allowed to undercut, to open up a competition, to try and get customers, whatever it is, can only be done in a legal manner, in a way that is normal, that is ethical. Anything that's done in a non-legal fashion will be forbidden. And we'll just end with one moed kamaisa. A yid came to see me like this. He came to see me. He's a very, very big seller on Amazon. He's talking about a company worth millions and millions and millions. And he said to me like this, there's another competition. And the competition that he has to his company is one of the biggest companies of the world. It's huge. It's massive. You're talking about billions. Now, this guy came to me. He wants to open up, and he's got a company, but he wants to become even bigger. So he wants to become even bigger. So he figured out a mahalach. What's the mahalach? Mahalach is very simple. Mahalach is, I know, he says to me, that this big company, huge company, they're making billions of dollars. but I know they're not reporting everything. And I can report them to Amazon. And I can say and tell Amazon that they're not doing something right. Their account will be shut down. Once their account is shut down, I'm the main guy. I'm the millions and billions of dollars. And Yeshiva will never have to worry again. He slipped that in there on the side. That was like slipped in on the side, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, new building. Anyway, the point is, I told him, chas v'shalom, absolutely not. If you're going to go and bring yourself up by pushing somebody else down in a way that's not Beseda, even if Lamaisa legally it works and everything, if that's what you feel, first of all, go and learn Shar B'tachan and Chayvus Halavavas, because the Rebbeinu Shem gives that panasa. We don't make panasa by pushing somebody else down in a not nice, ethical way. But also, if that's how you want to be mala your business, got other problems as well. Rabbi Isai, that's the sugya of competition. Mitzvah Shem next year, brand new topic. Have a wonderful day.